about security monitoring with wazuh. Now, what we're gonna do today is going to be about wazuh, which is a SIEM framework. We're going to talk about it in a second now, and we're going to have few hands-on practical examples about it. We're gonna define what a SIEM framework is, and then we're gonna put our hands on using an actual SIEM framework that I'll be hosting for you guys today. And then we could have a few scenarios. We're gonna search through the queries. We're gonna learn about the search query language that is used in filtering data, and how does actually wazuh work as a security framework. At the end, we're gonna have a Q&A if anybody have any questions. So let's get started. My name is Abdulrahman Tamim. I'm a second-year cybersecurity engineering student. I'm interested into low-level security and malware analysis. This is my LinkedIn, and this is my email if you have any questions or you want to contact me. So let's get started about what is a SIEM framework. Now, a SIEM framework is basically it's a short of security information and event management. We're not here to define a formal language here, but basically a SIEM framework is a security application or a security architecture that is a full stack designed. It's a full stack design that is made to log the activity from all different sources. Because you see, you may have a company, you may have your own network, and so you would need to be able to manage all these devices on the network without needing to be sitting on each one of them. So you would need a software that is connected to all of these devices, that gathers logs about all these devices, that gives you ability to be able to have an overview of what's happening on all of these devices, like your laptop, your server, your phone, without needing to be able to have access to them. So you could just remotely sit on one management server and you could see on one computer everything happening on these other computers. Now, how does a SIEM framework exactly solve a problem? So we know that uh, typical devices, laptops or PCs or servers, they run operating systems like Windows and Linux, and these operating systems have things like firewalls and antivirus software that generates a lot of log pipelines. So logs like what's happening on the system, what have been executed, what had happened exactly, who modified what, and who was added, and all of these are just logged into the system logs. So the job of a SIEM framework is to connect to these pipelines, take all this random data, all this thousands and thousands of logs, and then just put them in one dashboard for you to be able to filter them and understand and read them. Okay, great. So what are the as you see in the diagram here also, we got like a Linux server, a Windows PC. All the logs are taken from the operating system. Sorry. Sorry, the book's full of. Okay, so as I was saying, we use different logs and different data from the raw data. We take it through the pipelines that are known on the operating system, and then the SIEM framework uses it to convert a actual analysis about it and give you statistics about what's happening on all of these systems. Okay, so as we see, there are three stages a SIEM framework does. First, it does aggregate and collect. First thing, we install software on all of these systems. We install a tiny program that collects the data from all of these devices. And then the second thing is analysis and decoding, which happens after this data is sent to the server, which is the management server that contains the SIEM framework also and the dashboard. And then at the end, we have an alerting and reporting, which contains all the which is the process of converting the data, the random data that we have analyzed and sorted, into an actual visual data in the UI on the dashboard that it gives us ability to be able to control and read what's going on into these systems. Okay, so these are different capabilities of the security management software, which is SIEM. You could have a review about all of these. SIEM frameworks are recently developing and really in really high capabilities. They're like integrating AI models into it. They're integrating advanced meta-heuristic algorithms. It's pretty to build your own actually SIEM framework. So you could also, if you're a cybersecurity engineering student, it's something I recommend that you build your own SIEM framework. It would be a very great capstone. Uh, but generally, you could even use a SIEM framework, even though in your daily life as a software engineer or a computer engineer, it will help you to understand what's going on your devices locally. On the local network, maybe in your home network, or if you have like a server you want to manage remotely and know what's going on in it. Okay, so let's talk about the top products of the SIEM frameworks. So what are the top SIEM products that are out there? Now, some of them is paid, is for free. The ones that are paid are mostly the ones that you will work with when you go work in a company as a SOC analyst or you work as a SOC analyst in a cybersecurity company. So these are some examples of them. Splunk Enterprise, Microsoft Sentinel, all of these are mostly running on clouds. So they are whether a service as a server, or you could server as a service, or you could install them locally, but you would need a licensed enterprise key, which your company will pay for. But uh, Today we are going to be using the wazuh framework, which is open source. You could install it for free in any device you want. Not really any operating system, but most of operating systems that are Unix based. And it's for me, I've used it personally on my home servers, my Raspberry Pi, and so on. So let's have a overview of what wazuh actually, going on under the hoods. Okay. Um, so we have three stages. The first one is where we install the program that I told you guys about, the wazuh agent. We call it an agent, wazuh agent. And let's say this is the Windows server, this is the Linux server, and this is, let's say, the Mac server, for instance. Sorry, the Mac device, MacBook. And you install the wazuh agent on all of them. And then the wazuh manager and the file beat the wazuh agent will be sending the data from the pipelines that antivirus and firewalls gather. And then it will be sent to the wazuh manager and the file beat, which are programs made to sort of manage this data and gather it into a database, which it's filtered. Okay. And then after this data is gathered, it will be taken to Elasticsearch, which its job is to sort the data and clean it into a way that gives you ability to search through it. Okay, so once you have Elasticsearch sorting the data, you will be able to view this data into a dashboard, into a UI, into the dashboard, which you could search through the data. So these are the three stages where Zoo Agent sends the data. Wazuh agents sends the data through the pipelines that they receive from antivirus or firewalls, and these will sort them into a database, and then the Elasticsearch will sort it as searchable queries for a better searching. So we will see these DQL searching in a second now. Okay, so this is going to be the workflow that we're gonna be doing now, in a second. Uh, it's not that complex, don't worry. Everything on the right side is going to be on my server. It's just going to be set it up on my server, and everything on the left is the agent that we have. As we saw earlier, there is a wazuh agent, okay, which has all the data, and there is which is like the device that we're going to be monitoring. We're going to be monitoring its activity, and then we're going to be having the wazuh management server. We're going to be interacting on the web UI dashboard. I'm going to be giving you a link, and we're going to be surfing the logs that we received from the Raspberry Pi. We're going to be seeing some attacks. We're going to take a look at some logs. We're not going to really go deep, so do not expect much. It's not going to be an hour and a half workshop. It's just going to be a 1 hour simple workshop just to give you an overview what a SIEM framework is. and generally how to work with them and what to expect when you hear the word SIEM frameworks. Okay, so um, let's surf the dashboard here. I'll send you the link, guys, into the chat so that you guys could visit it. Just okay. Also, if you guys got an HTTPS error, it's because I didn't have time to validate the certificates on the server because I have self-signed certificates by default. So just visit the link. Just it's fine, except we're not really doing anything sensitive. Um, and once you land the page, the password and username are going to be admin. Okay. So I know this is not the best cybersecurity practice I could do, but it's just for the sake of this workshop. Okay. Um, is everybody said, please, guys, if you was able to visit the link, please inform me. If you have any difficulties to face it, to visit it, please also tell me. Okay. Yeah, just click advanced and just click accept. It's fine because the certificates are not validated for the encryption. That's why. Okay, I'll give you guys 1 minute to visit the web pages and just log in into the dashboard. Please also, guys, if you visited the link, could you please just click a like into the link, just react to the link. I can't view the screenshot actually, so don't send it as a file. But if you got access to the dashboard, which will show you agent and some statistics, just wait for us to finish. Okay? Yeah. In the username and password I said earlier, just type in as a username the word admin, and for the password, just type in the word admin. Thank you, Waldo. Yeah, exactly. Zoop. Hi, welcome. Okay, so let's get started with the workshop. Okay, so we're going to type in as a username for admin, and the password is admin. So once you log in, it will connect to the server, which I'm hosting, wazuh on, and it will validate I'll need to open the other side just yeah, great. So once you log in, it will show you these. We'll request the API for you locally. Okay, so once you land on the dashboard, this dashboard gives you an overview of what is going on. Uh, as you see, I haven't really customized the dashboard. It's the default one. I have only added one agent, which is the Raspberry Pi, the one I'm trying to monitor for the sake of this workshop. But you can't just add one agent. You could add hundreds of agents, and you could monitor hundreds of devices in your corporate or company. That's why using this is an extremely common and important skill if you're applying if in any cybersecurity job that is related to defense, not offense. But having an idea generally about it is extremely good as a cybersecurity professional. Okay, so starting out with the dashboard, you could customize it as much as you want, but for now we don't really focus on this one. You could take a look at critical security, high severity, uh, uh, medium severity, low severity, and so on. This will show you also overview of different security events that was received from the Raspberry Pi, what is going on it. Okay, so let's get started. So on the left top corner, you will see a burger sign, which is the three lines. You click on it, and you will find all sort of options that you could serve the dashboard through. So the very first option that I want you guys to click on is to go to Explore and then go to Discover. Great. So on Discover, we could see all sort of logs that ever happen on all the agents that you guys are connected to, which you are currently serving the server, okay? And these are the logs of all the agents that you're connected to. It's gathering information from the Raspberry Pi. Now, the only agent I'm connecting to, the only agent I am monitoring, to be more precise, is only the Raspberry Pi. So it will only show me information about the Raspberry Pi, okay? So if you could look like pick up any random, let's pick up the first one. You could see here, if you could read, procedure host name is Kali Raspberry Pi, um, agent name Raspberry Pi, manager, and then you will get more information. And if you click on the arrow at the left, it will show you the whole information arranged in a table about everything. So if you could take a look here, you could see the the agent ID is one, which means it's the first agent. This is the agent IP address on the network, of course, and then the name and so on. You could find several information, the log history, when did this log was generated. Just so you know, guys, logs, when they get generated, they get stored in the Raspberry Pi. Let's assume there's someone who had been trying to attack the Raspberry Pi locally using a malware, and the Raspberry Pi had not been connected to the internet. So after 5 days, you have connected the Raspberry Pi online, okay, and then the data was sent. So the date won't be on the date that the data was sent to the Wazoo. No, it would be on the day that the incident that happened on the offline Raspberry Pi, so that we make sure when it happened. So the Wazoo agent on the Raspberry Pi will take care of that. It will log all the date of this of the events that happened, the security events or any events generally that happen. Okay, so this is the general overview of all the logs, but of course, in a massive corporate, you will have thousands and th hundreds of thousands of logs that you would need to know how to search using the DQL language. You need to filter through it to find specific needs of yours so that you could be able to write your own maybe security report. There's a security incident, you look through the logs and see what happened, who did what, and who changed what. Okay, so on the right side, you could see different queries that could help you to remember. Like you could, for instance, I want to filter based on agent ID or maybe agent IP address. I have a specific IP address that I want to monitor. Maybe there's a specific agent I want to just get the logs from them. Um, but for now, let's go back to the burger sign. We have finished about Discover. Let's go back to the burger sign. And then I want you guys to go all the way down, okay, to agents management, and then click on summary. Okay. So when you go to agent summary, you could see all the hosts, sorry, all the agents that you are monitoring right now as an admin. So you could see an overview, general overview here, what's happening, who's alive, who's disconnected, who's slow in connection. And as you see, the only connection we have is the Raspberry Pi that I'm monitoring. So you click here, you could find general overview of what's going on, event count, evolution, complaints, major attack. Major attack is basically a website or a framework that helps attackers specify exactly the attack feature or the attack code. If you could just try to visit the Meta attack, sorry, not this one. So if I'm uh Meter attack, okay. So Meter attack is a of online framework that just its job is to sort different attacks that are happening. It's always up to date to the new attacks. Since hacking happened until now, it's logging all sort of techniques and attacks. As you see from the very beginning, reconnaissance and gathering information to initial access, and then impact, exfiltration. It's from the very beginning of the hacking process to the end. And for me, when I started hacking, it was really helpful for me to gain an idea about how hacking happens, what are the different techniques. It's not that technical, but it will give you some technical techniques, really smart, good techniques that you could use to start in hacking and so on. So I advise you guys to check it out also. Okay, so going back to the dashboard, you could take a look at the dashboard. Nothing really much is happening here, but we don't really want to generate anything much. We just need specific patterns in the dashboard, and we need to find search specific queries that I want you guys to know. Okay, so as you see, we have been on the we could have an overview of everything here. You could go take a look at the vulnerability detection, and you get more features about the Raspberry Pi that you could do also. File integrity monitoring. There's nothing really happened also on the Raspberry Pi. I have set it up just like a few seconds ago, so there is really nothing happen. You could search also through the files. These are different files on the operating system. There's like, as you see, 500 pages, which loads all the files on the Linux system to just show you all the events. Like if you click on any one of them, just randomly, and then it will show you nothing really what's happening on these files. But if somebody modified or played with them in a suspicious way, or even just did anything to them, all of this will be logged here. So you're just sitting on your chair, on your office, just monitoring your devices without even the need to have access to them. The Wazoo agent is taking care of that, and then once received, it's all filtered and monitored here locally. Okay, so as we've finished from the whole thing, the we have an idea about what agents are. We had an idea about the Discover dashboard. Let's actually have an idea about how do we exactly imply an attack. Okay, so let's say, for example, I want to try to connect to the Raspberry Pi. Okay, I want to connect to my Raspberry Pi, and I want to have a false password. Okay, I'm not gonna have the right password on it, so let's just give it a try. I'm going to, let's say 100, 173. Okay. So yes. So I'm just gonna type a random password. It's not gonna be the right one. And I'm gonna keep doing that again and again. Okay. And this will be logged into the Raspberry Pi. Okay. So if you could take a look here, the last alert is not about SSH. It's about, I think it's about PAM. Um PAM login session closed, which someone just logged out, which was me, but we still didn't do an SSHD. Okay. So let's try again. Let's try again. Like someone is like attempting to, figure out password, trying to, brute force the password attacks. So if we do here, a click at the right top button, we do refresh. Okay, we could see there's new data that have been received, okay, from the agent, and we could see that it's totally different. It's new data. So it says here decoder name is SSHD, and we could see different information about like who's the guy who's trying to log in, which is the data source IP, the attacker's IP. So we could locate the person who did that, and then we could also locate the agent IP, which is the device or the host that you are monitoring that the event happened on. So on this IP address is the Raspberry Pi, and then this IP address is the IP address that tried to connect to the Raspberry Pi. You could have an overview about it. Okay, so this is generally how do you exactly go through the Wazoo framework. Okay, so let's take a look at the DQL search query language. Okay, um, so what is it exactly? What does it do? So it helps us to use logical queries for us to filter specific things that we need. Like for example, I want to only filter the SSH attacks. So instead of just typing it in the search query, there's a feature that Wazoo gives you that if you open one of the alerts in the dashboard and then you know it's an SSH, you could go there and at the a tiny symbol at the right, it says filter for field presence. Okay, so we want to filter all the decoder name that contains SSHD, which I know it's a attempt to log in into my session. So I click this one, and it will filter out all these attempts for me to be able to for the attack to about the SSH brute forcing or the attempt to log in. Okay, so I could have a look at all of them. Also, if I want to narrow the search more, I could add another one. Maybe I want the IP address to be from this attacker only. So it will narrow the search more. Okay, so as you see, it got less. It was like hundreds before. Now it got more less. We could just count them. And from this also, if you want to also narrow the search more, you could maybe just search for, okay, as you see, role matrix technique, it's password guessing. And this will give you ability to see what's happening on the Raspberry Pi. So this was just a general overview of what Wazoo is. I didn't want to make this workshop this much complex, okay? But I wanted to show you guys also. So this is the wazuh server. I'm hosting it on a virtual machine. I'm sure you guys heard of it before. The virtual machine is basically a computer that simulates another computer inside your computer. I know it's weird to define it like this, but it's a software that helps you to run other operating systems on your operating system. Like, let's imagine you have a MacBook. You cannot run Windows on MacBook, right? So you just download the Windows ISO file, which is the operating system image, and then you run it on a virtual machine, which is the VirtualBox application, and it will allows you to simulate different operating systems. Now, for this one, we have wazuh agent. Okay, this is the wazuh manager, which contains all the contains from the wazuh manager, the wazuh indexer, and the wazuh dashboard. Okay, so if you guys want to modify the rules, you could modify it from the CLI where you are hosting the wazuh manager from. So we could guys go to for instance, if you guys workshop, we could tell from the command here. This means print working directory, the one we are working on right now. Okay, so it's inside var osig, etc., and then rules. Okay, so I want to do ls, also list the files that are currently here, and local rules. So from local rules, I could access it through the text editor Nano. It's like Notepad, but it's for Linux. Local rules, and then oh, it just works. That's weird. Maybe, oh yeah, sorry. I typed nano local rules, and then you could modify all the rules that are existing. Rules help give ability to for wazuh to respond to attacks or specific codes. Maybe you want to add a rule about maybe this IP address. I don't want this IP address to be sending any data to this agent. Okay, so you're maybe blocking some specific communications. You are customizing your own rules. You, as a security professional, must be aware of the rules that you build. You must be experienced in the query language that you're using. Also, we're going to see this in a second now. And also, being able to write rules. This is going to be mostly your job as a SOC analyst. Okay. Again, I don't want to overcomplicate this workshop for you guys. It's going to be like not that much, but this is just a general overview of what wazuh is, because it would take more than one workshop to explain actually what wazuh is. So I just wanted to give you guys a general overview of what is it. Let's take a look at what the DQL language is for. Okay, so I did this document where let's just take a look at a few symbols. I think I wrote it here somewhere. Okay, mm, that's weird. Okay, it's fine. We could read out the documentation for the wazuh. Okay, so we could look up DQL docs. Okay, so wazuh. So filtering, let's just find documentations are extremely useful if you guys doing any field in computer science. Documentation is really, really useful. Okay, so in the documentation, we could find out a page about filtering out the information that you have stored on the database using the DQL language. Okay. For instance, I want to filter out let's say I want to filter out the agent IP. I want the specific agent. So I would say agent dot IP, and then I will say, where's I just need to, okay. Sure there's, they don't have this for wazuh agent. Okay, so they apparently don't have this documented here, but okay. There's so much documentation here, so I can't find it, but um okay, let me search it again. TQL docs wizard file type PDF. I hope we could find something, hopefully. Okay, just no, not here, fortunately. Not this one. Okay, so can't really find it here, but it was somewhere here. But then it's totally fine. We're not gonna really waste time on this. But generally I could ask ChatGPT also about print for me a whole. I personally write my own rules using ChatGPT, so I don't really write these rules that you see on the Wazoo age. I don't on the Wazoo manager. I don't write them using myself. I just by myself. I write them using ChatGPT. Bring for me a whole uh cheat sheet for TQL and Wazoo. Okay, so let's take a look at the basics. Okay, yeah, I know we already know that. Okay, so let's say I want to filter out a rule, and then an ID. So let's say yes, I was right. Sorry. So I want to filter out agent.ip. Okay, so in a specific query here, I want to filter out, let's say, the agent name. This guy is called Raspberry Pi. I want to filter him. Okay, so I will say agent.name and then semicolon, and then I will put his name. Okay, and then I will say and in capital, and then I will say, let's say I want to also filter out what's anything related to um, maybe procedure. Wait, no, not this one. Let's say rule ID also, and rule ID, and then I will go ahead and take the ID, which is about the SSH attempt, and I will click enter. Okay, so it did filter for me all the rules that contain this. Oh, apparently we do have the only one is this one, apparently, and it has this rule ID. So it filtered this for me, and that's how we use the DQL searching for searching on the Wazoo indexer. Okay, so this was just a general overview of Wazoo. There is much more to learn about Wazoo. You could integrate even AI models into it. You could build your own SIEM framework using Wazoo because it's open source, so you could customize it to your own use. Uh, sorry, this was the general overview of what is Wazoo is. Inshallah, hopefully you guys could attend the future workshops that will be hosted inshallah, after 2 weeks from now. You guys will be in holiday, so more people hopefully will attend. And this is was everything about I want to give you guys about Wazoo. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the chat. And this is the barcode to our WhatsApp community for the GDG at Abu Dhabi University. Thank you for attending. And if you have any questions, please throw them in the chat. Thank you. No problem. No problem. You're welcome. If anybody have any questions, please throw them in the chat. Some people are already coming late. Okay, for those who came late, we are already done. So, oh yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. Zahra is asking, can we still access Wazoo after today's workshop with the same username and pass? Wazoo is hosted on my own network, so I don't think I could be allowing that to be accessed out of the workshop time. But you could host your own Wazoo, by the way. You could host your own Wazoo on Windows or Linux. It doesn't run natively on Windows, but you could host your own. I could send you a link for a guy who could teach you about hosting Wazoo. Just a second. He's the very first one of the very first people I used to Okay, so yeah. Um, this is 2 years ago. This is 2 years ago. Thank you. Okay, so you could follow this guy up. He does teach really good. His way of explaining is even better than me. Um, okay, great. So the answer would be no. Sorry, because I'll be disabling the server after that because it does contain private information. But if you want the access tonight only, I could give you that. I'm totally fine with that. But after tonight, it's I'm just gonna uninstall it. Yeah, no problem.